Okay, we can do a quick scene change. Everyone's saying hi YouTube. Okay, hi YouTube, but I'm gonna change to a more clean one right now. So guys, we just watched the Campfire chat and I have a summary for you. There were a lot of things they talked about with Abattoir of Zir. They've shown us some gameplay. They talked about Season 4 itemization rework, unfortunately not in very much detail, but I will talk about this in a second. They've shown us Midwinter Blight event that starts on December 12th. It's like 1 week after Abattoir, which comes on December 5. Some Season 3 stuff is coming, that's looking really awesome, and a bit of Q&A. So this is what we're going through. Let's start off the general stuff. First of all, we get the patch notes tomorrow for Abattoir of Zir, which is like the new endgame content. If you have not heard about this, this is basically grades from Diablo 3. There is going to be like a timer in the progression bar as you go through it. It's like randomized rifts basically, and then a boss fight at the end that consists of 3 Bloodseekers. And you get this new Tears of Blood Glyph here, which is like extremely powerful, that buffs your damage by a ton, and you can rank it up 200 times. It's gonna be like some insane endgame grind, and this is supposed to be like very high-end content. So this is coming on Tuesday, and the patch notes tomorrow. Also, because there was a lot of discussion, they talked about pay to win, which is not coming to Diablo 4. They've reaffirmed this again, because there was like some leak survey supposedly where people are talking about this. And people were asking about this, and they like very clearly stated that this is not happening. Even stash tabs sounds like they're not even selling stash tabs, so they want to like solve this as like a general thing. And also for the D3 guys, Season 30 patch notes are also coming tomorrow, so I guess you're going to see the PDR soon. Hopefully not exactly overlapping with Abattoir release, but at least the patch notes will be coming. And I'm going to be talking about that in a separate video, of course, and probably this one as well. Now, for the Abattoir of Zir, I mentioned a few things, and I've also made a video about it already the other week when I've played it. I've played this previously at BlizzCon, and it seems like they actually took some of the feedback to heart that we gave them. So that's kind of cool, because, you know, I was talking with the devs back then. For example, I was very concerned about very long boss fights, and, you know, he's gonna like be fighting bosses for like 5 minutes, like half the timer or something like that. It seems like that is not happening. They replaced bosses with Bloodseekers, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, the way this works is there's going to be 25 tiers. You can graph them at the occultist, just like normal sigils. They cost a lot though. You have to stack up on sigil powder. They don't scale the monster damage very much, but more the life scaling. And also, they don't scale the monster level very much. So previously we thought it would be +1 monster level per tier. You see that the tier 1 Abattoir has level 155 monsters. And tier 10 Abattoir has 157. So it seems like we don't have to scale as much armor as we thought we would. Probably it's going to end up at something like level 160 monsters or so, maybe in tier 25, I imagine. So it should be like easier to hit the armor caps, and that helps a little bit, but the life scaling is going to be significant. They talked about that 1 tier in Abattoir is roughly 4 tiers in Nightmare Dungeons, so this means a tier 25 Abattoir is roughly a tier 200 Nightmare Dungeon, and with like exponential scaling, stuff can get like really tough. Although it does not sound like it's going to be unthinkable to clear tier 25, at the very least if I stacked up a glyph. Because this glyph here is going to be ridiculous. So they showed this like a level 1 and level 2 version, and we know this can rank up 200 times, and it gives 5% of the base effect, meaning that it's going to be yeah, roughly 10 times as powerful once it's like fully leveled. And this means you can stack roughly 1000% extra damage multiplier here, which is a ton of damage here. And then you also get like this rare node bonus, which is pretty powerful. But of course, this is going to be like an insane grind. However, this glyph is like strong enough to be useful for like everyone immediately at level 1. That's kind of the intent. And it just gets better, basically. Then for the AOZs, yeah, there's random layouts and monsters. You get no loot, only at the end. You have only 1 life, so you can see this here in the screenshots as well. There's lives remaining, 0. You start with 0. So TLDR, hardcore is easier than softcore in this, funny enough. If you die in a party, if anyone dies, the run is over, so that's kind of interesting. And yeah, this is basically how it's gonna go. So this is gonna start on December 5th, it's gonna go away on the season end, which is in like 1.5 months. And they talked about that this is going to be kind of like, you know, a feedback collection for them to like, you know, understand what people want, what works, and they're gonna bring this back in some other way. I guess like, you know, a season later or something like that. So maybe in season 4. This could be like some evergreen content. So they definitely hinted at that this is coming back. Then we had itemization talk, so there's not really that much to say about it, but I have seen what they're going to do, and all of other content creators also have seen. We're not allowed to tell exactly the details. However, they talked about this damage on Tuesdays meme, so in case you don't notice, like, you know, like all these different, like, very specific stats that, you know, require 7 different conditions. There's kind of like that meme with damage on Tuesdays. Is going away at some point. So in Season 4, they want to do like a big itemization update where they rework how items work, how stats work, and basically make it easier to understand what is a good item and also, yeah, allow you to start on a journey with an item. So there's going to be basically, you know, crafting, etc. coming in a big rework. And yeah, I've seen that. It looks really cool. I'm very excited for this. I think a lot of people love this. And let's see like what kind of tweaks they're gonna do in the future. So they're gonna show us this in more detail in the future roundtable. So I guess sometime in like a month or 2 or whatever, we're probably gonna see that in action. Then comes the Midwinter Blight. So there's like an event here where, I'm not sure if I have a screenshot, but basically the entire Fractured Peaks region is gonna be Midwinter Blight. I'm not sure if this is like a permanent thing or is it like rotating like Helltide, but it sounds like it's just gonna be permanent. For the holidays, basically. There's gonna be like Christmas themes, like monsters, and there's like a new NPC, like a bard, that can give you quests or something, and he can give you like some rewards for hunting those monsters. There's like some special boss. There are special elixirs that you can get and some other cool stuff. They didn't really show off all of the details here, but it sounds kind of fun. And there's gonna be like new outdoor stuff to do, basically, alongside Helltide and Bloodtide. Now we have Christmastide, I guess. So that's kind of cool. Speaking of Helltide, Season 3 actually brings us an update for Helltide. There's going to be basically non-stop Helltide with 55 minutes and then 5 minutes break. A bit like Blood Harvest right now. I'm not sure why they kept the break. They didn't really say that. There's also going to be a rework to item power. So they talked about the 925 loot they get from world bosses and Duriel, which is kind of a problem right now because it kind of like invalidates everything else. So I guess they're going to change those item power, like, you know, thresholds, or maybe they're gonna change, like, you know, you don't get only 925s or something. They didn't really give us a feedback on what exactly they're gonna do, but it's just gonna be like a more exciting journey to gear up your character, sort of, where like you don't get like to the world tier 4 at level 60 and you have your best in slot weapon, basically. So let's see. Then of course Season 3, the Gauntlet is coming. They didn't talk much more about it, so I guess we're gonna see that in like the Season 3 update and new season theme. They also didn't talk about that. And finally, Q&A. There were like a few questions. Most of them were not really like that interesting or like repetitive, but they did talk about that they're improving gold trading for console players. So right now this is like a pain, and that's going to get better very soon. They talked about loot filters. Loot filters are not immediately coming, and it sounds like they kind of want to like see first like how it's going to be with the itemization rework that I just described. So that should already cover a lot of the need for the loot filter. And maybe they're going to do something later. That was actually not a point here with the more butchers and bloodseekers. It was just a question, but I didn't really like talk much about it. They did talk about transmogs, that there might be more color palettes at some point, or more different like transmog options. And they did not talk about anything at all about LFG communities and clans. So is there like any other stuff that I missed maybe? That I should mention here from chat maybe. I'm live on stream right now for this recording. So if there's anything that I should mention, but I think I got a pretty good summary here. I have just these notes that I took basically during the stream. Here's some more of the screenshots. It's like how the abattoir looks. And as I mentioned, this is completely randomized. So we didn't really get so much of a glimpse here. We just saw like, you know, 1 or 2 runs in this whole footage. But I can also recommend you to go check it out. It seems definitely very high end, so they said that you need to finish the season journey, and this is kind of like the prerequisite to even like have a chance in there, basically. But you can do that at any time. If you're not ready yet, you can do that later. So in case you're wondering. And yeah, that was basically the entire showcase here with this like 1 or 2 runs that I've done. Please give us something way about the itemization rework. I cannot, I think. So I can just tell you, yeah, with, you know, with crafting and with like item start of a journey, basically, you know, it's like you're basically gonna get attached to items a bit, and it's gonna be pretty cool, I think. So this is how that goes. But yeah, so this was the summary for the live stream. I'm gonna talk about the patch notes tomorrow and also about the free patch notes tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And other than that, see you guys in the next one.